A lot of people nowadays are buying land and building. I'm also a motivated land banker, and that will form the basis of our conversation today. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this video or from wherever you're watching me from. My name is Mary Margaret. I'm a financial advisor. I like to talk about money in general, investments, savings, loans, and anywhere that can be a source of income in a short while, medium term, and even in the long run. Because you know what? Lazima to make it in Jesus' name, all right? So, I've observed something. I've observed that a lot of people are motivated to be homeowners. And when I say a lot of people, I'm in that group. Yes, because why not? Why not have something of my own? Somewhere my kids can ride a bike, somewhere that I can have a kitchen garden. Oh my God. By the way, the only major reason I like owning a home and buying and building and not buying an apartment house, I think it's owning my own kitchen garden. That one would satisfy my heart. My boss is my mentor, by the way. I like the way, but in his age, he's living exactly the kind of life I would want for myself, and maybe myself even better. This is why he's my mentor. Before we get to our conversation of buying land for future investment, so he lives in 100 by 100 piece of land. He gets avocado from there. The way I love avocado. He does small scale farming in the 50 by 100. 50 by 100 is occupied by his home, of course. So anatoa mahindi hapo, greens hapo, na yeye familia yake wao wakulangi ugali ya white, wao wanakula hiyo ya kusiaga. Yes, so they get all the maize from there, greens hapo na chicken hapo, beef maybe wananunua. Alright, so he literally gets most of the things that they consume in his small piece of land. Okay, and that alone will make me wake up every day at 5 a.m. and leave the house by 6 a.m. Okay, I know you wake up earlier, but yes, that one will make me work so hard because that is exactly what I want for my life, and maybe even a bigger piece of land. Most people want that. Most people want to buy and build, and that is why I am here to talk about if everybody want to build a house of their own. And by the way, mind you, a lot of people are buying commercial plots because they would want to build apartments. I've sat with people who tell me, I want to be a landlord, I want to be a landlady, and that's a good thing because I desire that for myself too. This is what I talk about every day, because I offer vehicles to get you there. So when I hear somebody talk about that, it really makes me feel good. Okay, so that one got me thinking, if everybody want to do this, so what will happen in the next 20 years? Kwa sababu kila mtu anataka kukua na building yake yenye imesimama, anataka kukua na apartment yake yenye imesimama. That's a good thing. It's a good source of income, you know. But what about food? Because we all want to do that. So that means in the next 20 years in our country, Kenya, food shortage might be one of our major problems. A lot of importation, a lot of inflation in food, a lot of food inflation, and this is a good source of income for you and me who've thought about that right now. Right now food iko juu ndio, but how about in the next 20 years? Kama sasa mimi nanunua mahindi 30 shilling in a normal supermarket, or 35 sometime, how about in the next 10 years? Unataka kusema githeri people like us who love githeri, unataka kusema itakuwa inakaa wewe unakula chicken na mimi nakula githeri tunafanana, I mean in terms of cost. So that is why I'm here to have this conversation with you. Let us think about it. So I've met people who tell me this is one, and half of the people I speak with, or 75% of the people I speak with is they want to be landowners. Gladly, I'm a landowner, but this is not a space I'd want to develop, maybe. Even I'd not want to live there. I bought that space for speculation, number one. I wanted to be a landowner, and that time, that's about 3 years ago, by the way, I wanted to test my capability to pay off a loan. I bought a 50 by 100 for 300,000 from Safaricom Investment Cooperative. At the time, I was very, very young, by the way. I had just turned 24. And I had not borrowed before. And I don't mean borrow, I don't mean fuliza, and I don't mean borrowing 5,000. I mean borrowing for investment, for development. Okay? That's a good loan. Let me also take this opportunity to differentiate a good loan and a bad loan. That I borrowed was a good loan because it was for development. But do not take a loan to start a business. A business you've not engaged yourself in. If it is a business that you are in already and you want to open a branch, that's okay, because you're already in this business, you know how it operates. I like to give an example with Optica. I hope one day I'll get to meet the owner of Optica. Optica have got over 70 branches in this country. If I am Mwangi from Equity and the owner of Optica comes and tell me, you know what, I'd want to open another branch and I need let's say like 20 million, I'd quickly give the money to the guy, all right, or to the owner of Optica. Why? Because this person has been involved in this business for more than 5 years now, or even 10. I'm not very sure about that. And I'm sure how to operate with this business. But you who want to open your own optical shop and have, maybe when you're optician, you're a great optician, not optician, or you're a you're a great doctor for that matter in that area, but then again have not done it as business, you've just done it as a job, then I'd not recommend a loan. Okay, so let's come back to land owning. So I was now thinking, what about in the next 20 years? Maybe you who is not yet 40, you who is not yet 30, and can afford not a plot of land. I don't mean 50 by 100. I mean you can afford maybe an acre, maybe 2, maybe 5, 10, you know. And I don't mean an acre in Nairobi, hapana. I mean an acre huko ndani pali unaweza fanya large scale farming. Maybe that could be a source of income in the next 2 decades. Because let's take an example of somebody who is 30. They'll be 50. By the way, 50, you're not very old. Imagine, like my mom is 53 right now. She's still very strong and doing business. Now I can imagine her owning, or me in the next couple of years, owning such a piece, not a piece, and those acres of land. This is the time 2 kg maize flour will be going for 350. And I don't mean Raha Premium, I mean the normal one. Easy Soko, Ndovu, Pembe, you know them. That time, basi mkulima wa mahindi ataweza kuwa mahali pazuri. Mkulima wa anything else, veggies, mention them all. But you can't wait for that time to buy 5-acre piece of land. It needs to be an urgent matter, maybe in the next 5 years. This got me thinking, because I was sitting somewhere talking with a client. You know, you guys, sitting with you guys, by the way, is always amazing. I get to learn new things, and I get to also open my mind, because that was an eye-opening conversation with a client talking about the next 20 years. So you who is 25 and earning a good salary, do you know you can save that money in money market? And if money market does not work for you in terms of discipline, You can take a 5-year plan that I can help you with. A 5-year plan targeting a particular amount. By the way, I've realized areas that have developed, especially in Nairobi, land is very expensive. But do you know there are areas where a 50 by 100 goes for 150,000? That means an acre would go for less than $1 million, Bob. Okay? Because I think an acre should give 8 pieces of an acre, if I'm not wrong. And if one is going for example, 100,000, then that is 800,000. But I also know of places mtu anaweza kuuzia 3 million 5 acres of land. I know they are there. If you'd want to get to know such places, there are so many credible land companies that are there. I can only speak about one because I have a friend who works there and I have tested their credibility. Or I can also speak on behalf of Safaricom Investment Cooperative, having worked with them. And Top Care, there's a lady called Elizabeth, the Realtor, Omumbi. I'll put her number here so that in case you're thinking that direction and you already have the money, and like us, you need to wait for 5 years to be able to accumulate such an amount, you can talk to her. She's very good and passionate about land banking. So, but it must start somewhere. Myself, I'll be very honest with you. I've gone crazy about that idea in my head right now, and ever since I had that conversation. Of course, I was not ready with my 5 million to be able to do that. But you know what matters most is visualizing that idea and taking action. Taking action, maybe if you have 5 million, could be buying that piece of land. But also taking action is knowing I know I can raise maybe $1 million in 2 years. So I need 10 years to be able to raise 5 million. I know if I wait for 10 years to do that in my money market, it will not work. So I can take an endowment policy of 30,000 to be able to get 5 million, because 30,000 10-year policy would give you the same 5 million. That's two ways. Number 3, I know I can use my circle. So I only need to raise about 1.7 to be able to get a loan of, is it 1.7? Yes, because it's times 3, or about 1.8 to be able to get a loan of 5 million. And then I'll repay it maybe in 3 years or 4 years, you know. Choose your hard. Choose your poison. I like today, as I'm talking and doing this video, I'm in Mombasa. I'm here for a business trip, and the taxi guy who got us here, who transferred us here, we came talking about nilikuwa namwambia na hii Mombasa siko na many old buildings. Why can't the investors or the owners of these businesses just renovate their houses? I mean, where they doesn't look very attractive from outside. Ananiambia unajua Mombasa is an old town, sasa nyumba mingi ni mzee, lakini kuna nyumba zina come up mingi, nitakuonesha. Akakuja akinionyesha nini. And then he showed me one particular one and told me that belongs to the guy who owned Quickmart. Told me several things about the guy. Tukasema where? I mean, one of his taxi friend ni mtu anatumangwa na mwenye hiyo building, Alliance mwenye Quickmart. This is just small gossip. Then several things he told me about the guy. Nikasema wow, the guy is crazily wealthy. What are you saying? But the good thing is that he has employed a lot of people. But even the kind of let me not disclose the things I was told. But dereva akaniambia sasa hiyo ndio, nikamwambia saa zingine usiporidhika na kile uko nayo unaweza angalia ya watu wengine ushindwe what is wrong with your life. Akaniambia na hivyo ndo iko, mwenye akona mingi ndio anaongezewa, mwenye hana inanyang'anywa inapewa uo mwingine. Na ni ukweli, this is the Bible says that. So Nikamwambia basi kile imebaki ni kila mtu atie bidii apate yake so that aongezewe. So where nimefika aje kwa hiyo part? But my point is you must start somewhere. You must take deliberate actions for everything that you want. These guys did not wake up rich. They started somewhere. And when you do your part, trust me, God will do the rest. Trust me, when you start earning that good income, that passive income, those things start actualizing, God will make more to come on your way. I don't need to explain that. That is the Bible. So let me, if you're in the same line of thoughts with me, some of these things I can get to help you in case you're building slowly like me, through these either policies, circles, or whatever. But for those who are ready, I can recommend maybe Safaricom. There are so many realtors company that are legit. So I'm not saying the two I'm mentioning are the only ones, but at least I've worked with Safaricom Investment Cooperative and I have seen Top Care deliver good jobs. In case you need help reaching these people, let me know. Sometimes I can help you, some things I can only recommend. Then you go and do your homework and help yourself. Thank you so much for watching to this end. I had felt a great need to do this video, and I have decided to do it because at least this place is quiet for now. Also being jungling between motherhood and work, career, and everything. I want to do a video. Maybe I wake up early in the morning, somebody hears my voice and wakes up, they need my attention. But finally I've gotten to do this video. Thank you for watching to this end, and have a great day. Thank you.